Real quick, I'd like to share with you a program that I like to use to get an idea of what the deer on our property might score based on our trail cam photos. I came across this product online. You can pick it up for about $10, so it's very inexpensive. But what it does is it allows you to upload a photo of a deer that you have, primarily probably coming from your trail cameras, and you can put it into this system, enter in some basic information about the deer and where you are, and it will generate a score for you based on the measurements that you input. So I'm going to take you through one of our deer real quick and show you how this program works. And it might be something you want to consider to add to your toolbox to help you be a more effective hunter. We'll start on the right hand side. You can see that I have the last deer that I scored was a buck called Snarlyhorn. And here's a list of other bucks that I've scored. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a photo, which brings up a menu where I can browse my folders to add any photo that I want to. So I'm going to go to my 2015 Big Bucks. I'm going to go to Pretty Boy. I'm going to name it. From there, you can add in albums, tag numbers, a specific ranch that you might be hunting, a specific pasture on that ranch, or any other details or notes you'd like to have saved as part of this. I'm going to leave it blank. I know where this deer is, and I'm going to add that photo. If I go down to the image that I just added, it will give me the option to score the deer. This brings up questions about where was the deer and what age do you estimate the deer to be. So I'm going to select Wisconsin, which is where this deer is, and I believe that he is 4 years old. Now I'll have the opportunity to tell the computer which direction the deer is facing. Now in the image that is here already, you probably won't get a very good score because the tools that the computer program needs to use as verifiable measurements to compare your measurements against won't be as accurate. So I'm going to tab over until I think that looks like my picture. I'm going to lock in the view. Now here are the reference features, and this is going to help the computer know what to base your measurements off of. And this is compiled from lots of data collected by the researchers and developers of this program using standard ear widths and eye widths based on countless subjects. So in this image, the eyes are kind of glowing and it's difficult to tell exactly how far apart they are due to that infrared flash. But it is very easy to tell the width of the ear, so I'm going to select the ear width. But first, to make this easier on myself, I'm going to crop the image. And then I'm going to save. And what that does is brings this image up closer where I can see it and be more precise with my measurements. So I'm going to select the ear width and then click Start. Now you'll see I have a plus sign on the screen, and I'll use that to first click where I think the ear begins and then move straight across to where the ear ends. And I get that nice line on the screen, and I come over here and I say record the ear width feature. If I didn't like it, I could select to erase the lines and start over. Now we can measure the inside spread. Click to pull up your plus sign, your measuring tool. Click once, straight across, click twice, and now you can record the inside spread. Now you need to tell it how many antlers it has. So on the left side, he has 4, and on the right side, he has 4 as well. So we can measure the main beams. What is nice about this is if you look down here, say you just wanted to know the inside spread of the deer, it's already telling me that that deer has an 18.6 inch spread. Now if that number is way off, if you have a bad angle on the deer, or if it's way off, it may be a clue that you have incorrectly recorded something during this process. Remember that a deer's ears tip to tip are typically about 16 inches. But we like that. 18.6 seems about right. So we're going to measure the main beam. And it's going to tell us that we can measure the left main beam. So I'll click here, bring up my measuring tool, and I'll pull up multiple spots, clicking along as I go to be the most accurate that I can be. And if I'm happy with that, I'll record it. Measuring the right beam in the same way, starting at the base. Record. Now I can measure tine 1, click, brings up my measuring tool. Take your circumferences, now it gives you the opportunity to add in any abnormal points, and this is going to help for the deductions. So the number of left abnormal points or the number of right abnormal points, it gives you a drop down and you can select. This deer is clean. He's a basic 8-pointer, very symmetrical. So we're going to continue without scoring those and complete the scoring. And it's going to ask you, is this deer in velvet? Obviously, velvet is going to make your deer look a lot bigger than it is. So in this picture, no, the deer is not in velvet. And that brings up a really nice score sheet for you. It tells you all your measurements, both left and right. It tells you beam length, inside spread, point height, everything. And then at the bottom, it's going to calculate it all out for you. So this deer is grossing 124 inches. He has 3 inches, just over 3 inches of deductions. So his net typical score will be 121 inches. So again, it's not perfect. Your measurements and how accurate you are with your measurements and the quality of your image are going to make a big difference on this. But it's going to get you in the ballpark so that you know what you're dealing with. So here we know that Pretty Boy is about a 125-inch buck with a really good spread, but for his age class, this may be the best that we're going to get out of him. Lastly, you can share it on Facebook, Twitter. You could send this page to a hunting buddy via email. You can just save it. You could print off your score sheet, or you can do what I always do and finish, and then it adds it to your list of bucks, which allows you to go back and view previous score sheets of other deer throughout the past. So in conclusion, if you're having a tough time scoring the deer on your property, you might want to invest a few dollars in BuckScore, put it on your computer, and start knowing the size of your bucks today.